Happy Thursday! What's going on, guys? How we doing? Good. Excellent. All right. We've got Daniel. We've got Muhammad. Hi, Shania. Nice to meet you. Sylvia and all our fabulous friends on social media. Big shout out. My name's Loretta. I've been rocking it with Take Lessons for over 10 years, y'all. So we're going to get our learn on today, okay? Today we're talking about key signatures and playing in different keys, okay? So I did leave you a little bit of housekeeping over in the chat box. So just so you know, everything that we go over in class, all of our resources, our pictures, any music, I always upload that to the chat box, because if you're new to Take Lessons Live, what you'll learn is anything we type in there hops back into your journal in your account. So you guys get that stuff forever. It's our gift to you. Now also know that during class, we have the ability to feature students and I can highlight you. So when you're sharing out, right, we can share out to the whole group. Otherwise, nobody can hear or see you but me. So I feel special. All right. So anytime you have a question or a thought or a comment, like, what's the key? Or slow down, I didn't get it. Or Loretta, your sweatshirt's awesome. Type it into the chat box, okay? Because 9 times out of 10, if someone has a question, you're not the only one. Trust me when I say. All right. Make sense? Yeah, y'all with me? Excellent. Got lots of thumbs up today. Okay. So when we talk about key signatures and playing in different keys, you guys have heard this before, where sometimes you may be working with a vocalist and they say something like, hey, can we do this in a different key? It's hard for me to sing in the key that the music is in. So the way to understand key signatures and what a key is, right, is it's a combination of notes that create a very specific sound. And usually the difference between keys is that the music sounds higher or lower. Okay, it can also take on a different tone quality, like happy or sad. So if I'm in the key of C, which most of you start in as a beginner pianist, is you're going to hear something like this, okay? That's the key of C. But if I were going to change that key to a different combination of notes, that's the key of F. Sounds higher, right? Okay, good. Just checking. Yeah, so it's going to have a different sound. But again, if I have the key of C and I want to change it to C minor, I think someone was talking about major and minor keys, it has a different tone quality because you have a different combination of notes. Make sense so far? Yeah, excellent. So while I get us started, I just want to give you guys a heads up as to what we're going to go over in class today. So there are a few different tools that you'll see in the chat box. Stop, do not press go. Don't worry, we're going to go over them together. But we're definitely going to talk about the Circle of Fifths, which is a fabulous resource that shows you all of the keys and how they relate to each other. Because unlike the old school days, I'm not just going to say, here's this key, memorize that one. Oh, here's this key, memorize that one. Nah, y'all, we got to tie it together so you can see how it all works, right? Makes it way easier to learn. Then we're going to talk about different tools and memory tools to help you remember that information, like the order of sharps and the order of flats. Part of what I did earlier was I asked you, what are some of your challenges with playing in different keys? And guys, I got some like juicy information over this chat box, like major and minor chords. We'll talk about that. Also, how to transpose a song. Sylvia, always my jam. Great questions. So we're going to go ahead and talk about a few of those concepts. And if we have time, what I did was I uploaded a lead sheet of Man in the Mirror, because Man in the Mirror has a key change toward the end of the song, which means it starts off in one key and then it ends in another key. And that happens a lot in music to build a lot of tension and build a lot of excitement in the music. And I'm going to show you guys what that looks like so you know kind of what's behind it when you're rocking out and you're like, ooh, that was good. You'll know what it is. Cool? Oh, don't be afraid to rock out with me too, guys. Yeah, there you go. I got you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, this is what I like to call the key of C and everything else. Because in the beginning of your learning your fabulous piano and your instruments at home, you usually start off by learning everything in the key of C. And what I mean by that is, think about it. You start off with learning everything on all of the white keys, right? Do you usually touch the black keys at all in the beginning? Yeah, not really. There's a reason for that. So check this out. Let me show you one thing. All right, here's my fabulous keyboard. Say ooh, ah. All right, so in order to find your way around the keyboard, we have a few different milestones or mile markers, right? You've got your group of two black keys, and you have your group of 3 black keys. Can you all find that at home? Okay, good, excellent. So just to the left of your group of 2 black keys is a C. Okay, go ahead and find that C. Yes. Awesome sauce. Okay. And just to the left of the group of 3 black keys is an F. Go ahead and find that F. Yeah, there you go, guys. Okay, cool. So the trick to a keyboard or the piano is any group of 2 black keys, this C right here is always a C, no matter which group of 2 you're working with, all the way up and all the way down, okay? Now, the group of 3, same rule, guys. Your F will always be an F just to the left of any group of 3, all the way up, all the way down. Because unlike the English alphabet, which has 26 letters, the musical alphabet only goes from A to G, and then it starts all over again. That's why you have that pattern on your keyboard. Thank God. Could you imagine if we had 26 letters on the, oh my God. Woo! I'm so glad it's limited. All right, so now when you go from C to C on your keyboard, you hear a major scale, all right? It's its own key, already designed that way based on what we learn in Western classical music and what we're used to hear with our ears. So check this out. Find a C on your keyboard. I like this guy right here. He looks real cute. All right, so that's a C, and I want you to go from C to C if you have your instrument in front of you. All right, ready? Come along and play with me. So we have C, and then D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C. All right, so that's your major scale, guys. Check it out again. Ready? Here we go. All right, everyone heard a major scale, right? Yes? Excellent. Now, I'm going to choose a different note to start on, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start on A, but I'm not going to hit any of the black keys. I'm going to stay on my white keys, and I want you to tell me what sounds different, okay? All right, here we go. I'm starting on A. I'm going to go from A all the way up to A right here. All right, here we go. Okay, so you tell me what sounded different. Did it sound like that normal major key or the major scale? You can either type it in or be like, I don't know. Tell me what you thought. Tell me what you thought. What do you think? What did it sound like? Did it sound major? Did it sound different? Let's see what we got.
It sounded higher.
It sounded higher. Yeah, I started on a higher note. Absolutely. Sounded high pitched compared to C to C. Absolutely. Okay. Also, here's the thing. I'm going to play a C major chord. Okay, that's C major. I'm going to go ahead and start on that A just like I did before and tell me if the type of sound sounds different for you. Okay. What's the difference between the first one and the second one? What do you think? I love your thinking faces. You guys look fabulous. All right, we have some people typing. 2 different sounds. Here's sound 1. Yep, and here's sound 2. Yeah, and Sylvia says the first one sounds happier than the second one. And she's exactly right. So major scales or major keys are known as sounding bright and happy. The second one was actually A minor. And that's because I started on A and I followed C major. I followed a different key signature, a different combination of notes that create a different sound. So that's one of the biggest differences between playing in different keys. It gives music a different sound, y'all. So in reality, it's a superpower because you can create that emotion in your music by deciding what key you're going to write it in. Cool so far? Yeah, right? Okay. Here we go. We're going to get ready. So I'm going to pull up your circle of fifths. You don't have to pull it up yourself. Oh, good question. While I'm pulling that up, I'm going to answer Sylvia's question. So her question was, are minor chords used in ballads only? Not at all, sister. So ballads are known as being really slow, right? You'll find a lot of music written as a ballad and a lot of minor chords in ballads, but no, minor chords play a big part in all genres of music. That's a fantastic question. Okay, so big shout out to IT as I screen share. Okay, let me go ahead and refresh right here for you. Yes, love technology. Okay, so this is that magic power I was talking about. This is the circle of this. Y'all notice how it's a circle? Yeah, okay. So there's a reason why we call it the circle of this. The one big rule when you're looking at the circle of this is you have to go around clockwise, okay, as you're reading it, okay, clockwise to the right. And check this out at the top. Major. So all of the red lettering are the major keys. The green lettering are the minor keys, okay? And what you'll also notice are several different symbols that represent ways we're going to change the combination of notes. So our two main symbols are sharps and flats. Flats look like little baby bees. Let me zoom in real quick. Boop. Oh yeah, see that little baby bee right there? Oh, it's so cute. So when you see that symbol, that's telling you to make the note flat. Now, if I told you to make something flat, what would you think of? What does that sound like I'm asking you to do? Make it flat. What do I do? What do I do to it? First thing that comes to your mind. Yeah, trick question. Yeah, totally, lower it. You got it. So let me show you what that means. Ready? All right. Now, let's see. We'll start with a D. Okay, here's a fabulous D. Now, I'm going to make this D flat. And the way I do that is I need to lower it by a half step. All of the keys on your instrument are a half step apart, okay? So in order to lower it by one half step, I need to go down to the left by one key, which is right here, okay? So here's D, and then just to the left, this black key right here is D flat. Okay, make sense? All right. Now, what I have highlighted in front of you on the circle of fifths is actually a B flat. So I'm going to go and find B. And if you're not sure how to do that, guys, take a look at the group of two, because you know just to the left of a group of two is a C, okay? But I'm going to actually find my B by going down one step, because B comes before C in the alphabet. And to make that flat, I'm going to go down to the left, and there's my B flat. Got it? Okay, good, good. Coolio. All right, so the other symbol that you need to be aware of is called a sharp. And oh my gosh, guys, it's not a hashtag, I swear. Okay, it looks like a hashtag, but I'm aging myself. It's not a hashtag, it's a sharp symbol. Just drill that in right now. Okay, so right there at the top is your sharp symbol, or a pound sign, right? From those of us who used to have phones with actual cords that connected to the wall, right? All right, so when you see that, it's asking you to do the opposite. It's asking you to raise your note by a half step. So if I'm lowering my note by a half step by going to the left on my instrument, what do you think we're going to do to raise it? Go the other way. Yeah, so we're going to increase it by a half step by going to the right. So taking a look here, let's start with an F. Right there, all right? Going up by a half step to the right, bam, that black key right there. So make sure you're aware that when you're going down and up on your keyboard or on your piano, you're not just focusing on all of the white keys. You're actually focusing on every single one of these keys here. So if you come into your keyboard a little further forward, you'll be able to reach all of the keys a lot easier, and you won't miss some of the black keys if that's how you're counting. Okay, everybody cool so far? Yeah, all right, I love it. Head nods, thumbs up, all good. Okay, so let me zoom back out. Okay, give you guys a little bit of visual space. Okay, so those are the two gists. Now, when you are figuring out which note is flat and which note is sharp, you're doing the same thing that you would if you're trying to figure out what letter a note is, meaning the flats and sharps sit on the lines or in the spaces of the actual notes. So the F sharp that we just took a look at here is sitting on that line F, meaning the F line at the top of the treble staff is going right through that sharp symbol, okay? Just like the other flat we took a look at right here is a B flat. And I know that because it's sitting right on that B line, the very middle line of the treble staff. It goes right through the symbol. Now, if you have a different sharp or a different flat that's on a space note, right? If it's on E, which is that top space in treble staff, then it's going to be E sharp, right? A sharp, F sharp. So you have to really kind of know those different elements to be able to figure out which note is sharp or which note is flat. And if there isn't a sharp or flat anywhere, like in the key of C, right here, you're all good, all white keys. So does that make sense, right? Why we start using all of the white keys? We don't want to make your life complicated right away. Yeah, music, we layer this stuff, okay? You got to get your learn on. So, we have a quick question. Does key F have a low note? Yes. So Daniel's question is fantabulous. Does the F key have a low note? So you notice that in that group of 2, just to the left, you have that F. That F can apply anywhere on your keyboard. So if I go all the way down to the left, to the very bottom, and I find that group of 2, Daniel, yeah, that's a very low F. Just like at the top, that's a very high F. Because remember, you have A through G, and it repeats over and over, all the way up your keyboard and all the way down. All right? Excellent. Okay, so let's take a look here. I love this document, guys. In the ring in the center, I call this my hint ring because it gives me a little bit of a clue to determine how many sharps or flats in the key, right? And this symbol right here, the staff with the sharps and flats on it, that's your key signature. So at the very beginning of a piece of music, when you take a look at the beginning, right, you have the treble clef or the bass clef, you have your time signature, which is those 2 numbers, one on top of another, and then you have symbols like this in a group. That's your key signature. When I say, what's your key signature, take a look right in that spot at the beginning of a piece of music, okay? And you'll see a little bit more of what I mean later. So let's go ahead and start counting around because it is the circle of fifths. So ready? We're gonna use our fingers. So start on C, okay? You're gonna count up to 5. So we're gonna count together. You ready? I wanna hear you. All right, C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5. Yeah, you just counted up to 5, right? With your notes. Check this out. C to G is 5. Make sense? Okay, goes around in increments of 5. Now let's rock this. G is 1. I'm sorry. G is 1. My human is showing. A is 2. B is 3. C is 4. D is 5. 5. Yeah, you guys got it. All right, there's your D. So one of the best ways you can learn how to count your way around the circle of fifths is to learn how to count by 3s in music. And what I mean by that is if A is 1, then C is 3, right? And E is 5, 1, 3, 5. Learn how to count every other letter up the musical scale because you'll be able to fly around this circle of fifths, no problem, right? So you'll be able to say things like C, E, G, B, D, F, A, C, E, G, B. Ooh, I should make that into a song. All right, so you see what I'm saying? Then you can count your way around instead of C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, all the way around. Now, I had a fantabulous student that said to me once, well, it's the circle of fifths if I go around clockwise, but if I go around counterclockwise, it's the circle of fourths. You can think about it that way, but I just want you to be aware of the original intention so you can work your way around. You guys with me so far? Okay, good, good. So in this ring in the very center, you've got the natural symbol, okay? That symbol means no sharps, no flats, okay? And then what it tells you, if you keep going, is 1 sharp. 1 sharp, once you have 1 sharp, you're in the key of G right here. And the sharp that they tell you to use is F sharp. And I know that because it's on the top line, okay? Yes, Sylvia, great question. So between G and D, there are 5 keys. That's correct. But you have to remember that G is 1. So if you're going from G to D, don't start A is 1. You have to start on G. Okay, that's my one reminder for you. So now that we're in the key of G, I'm going to show you guys how to figure out all of the notes in that key. The note you start on is the same letter as the name of the key. So we're going to start on G, and that key signature gives us the rule. It tells us, hey, when you get to F, you have to play F sharp instead, right? So we have to remember that rule as we play, and I'll show you what happens if you don't follow that rule, okay? All right, good. I can hear you guys all getting revved up, started on G. So here we go. G, A, B, C, D, E, remember the rule, F sharp, and then G. Good, you guys got it, you got it. All right. Ooh, it sounds lovely. So let's keep going. Now we have D. What are the two sharps in the key of D? Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see a little better. All right, what are the two sharps in the key of D right here? Go ahead and type them in, or you can tell me, I can hear ya. Let's see, who knows, who knows? Two sharps in the key of D. I know sometimes when I zoom in, it can get a little fuzzy. Do the best you can. Let's see, we have a couple. Yeah, awesome sauce. F sharp and C sharp. And I know that because, again, I have the F sharp on the top, and then I have the C sharp in that third line from the bottom. So that space, if there was a note in that space, it would be C. The sharp is sitting in that same spot. All right, F sharp and C sharp. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and find all the notes in the key of D. Okay, you with me? All right, so remember, the note that names the key is the same note you start on. Here's a D down here, right here, okay? Here we go. So D, E, remember the rule, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Okay, and that creates all of the notes in that key of D, as well as all of the notes in that scale, the D scale. Yeah, Sylvia. So as a clarification, the only notes that are sharp are the notes that are indicated in the key signature. Everything else is natural. Everything else is on a white key. Cool? Good. Okay. So here's the thing. Like I mentioned before, I don't want to just, hey, this is the key, memorize it. Here's another key, memorize it. We like to work efficiently here. So there is actually an order of sharps. They're applying these sharps to these keys in a very specific order. So I'm going to give you all a memory tool so you can learn that a little bit easier. Cool? Okay, here we go. So, oh my gosh, this is bringing me back to my elementary school days. The order of sharps, you know how we have every good boy does fine for the notes on the lines of the treble staff? Same idea. So Father Charles goes down and ends battle. That's the sentence, I'm paying it forward. That's the sentence my music teacher taught me. Remember the order of sharps. F sharp, then C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, and B sharp. Which means when you're in the key of C sharp that has all 7 sharps, you have to remember that rule for all 7 of those notes, okay? Now, when you are on your own time a little bit later, I'm definitely going to encourage you to come up with your own sentence using that same order of letters, because if it comes from you, you'll remember it a lot easier. Those of you who have taken some of the other classes with me know how that goes. And it doesn't even have to make any crazy sense, all right? Okay. So going around the rest of the circle, you'll notice we're adding a sharp. In the key of D right here, we have F sharp and C sharp, Father Charles, okay? The key of A, we add another one. Father Charles goes, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp, right? And then keep going. The key of E, Father Charles goes down, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp. And you continue to follow all of those rules. So when you're home a little bit later, look, pull out this document and start finding all of the notes in each of those keys so you can see how it works. In the key of E here, I'm going to start on E, and I'm going to make sure I follow the rules every time I get to F, C, G, and D, right? E to F sharp, to G sharp, to A, E, C sharp, D sharp, and E. And that combination of notes is what's going to create the E major key. Cool? Yeah, all right. All right, so we're gonna go over and keep going around because now we need to rock out those flat. But in the meantime, let me quickly check in. I want to make sure Danielle, you're good. Mohammed, you're good. Sylvia, my social media groups, make sure you guys are good on Facebook and YouTube. Okay, just check in and thumbs up, or yeah, it's all good, Loretta. And if not, let me know what questions you have, okay? I don't want you to ever stay stuck. All right, so let's keep going. So the same rule applies to our flat keys, okay? The order of flats you've got in the inner circle, right? The number of flats that are going to be in that key. So in F, in the key of F right here, you have B flat, 1 flat, okay? In the key of B flat right here, you have 2 flats right there. Okay, adding another flat to the key of E flat. Okay, and the same rule applies when you're going around the circle, right? You're counting up by 5. So if you're in C flat, right? C, D, E, F, G, that counting up by 5 gets you over to G flat. Okay, and the same rule keeps going. But remember, go around clockwise in order to count up by 5. Okay, let me pop into the chat box for a quick question. Does F sharp major key exist? Oh yeah, Sylvia, right here. Nice juicy F sharp major with all of your 6 sharps right there. There you go. All right, so here's another thing. I'm gonna give you the memory tool for the order of flats because it goes the same way. Okay, and then I'm gonna show you how to look at a key without the name and figure out what the name of the key is. So we're gonna go the other way. Cool? All right, so the order of flats, ready? We have bead, like beads on a string, and then good craft fun. Oh man, that brings back memories. All right, here we go, right in your chat box so you have that as your permanent notes in your journal. Bead, good craft fun. So the order of flats is B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, and F flat. That's the order of flats. And again, I definitely encourage you to come up with your own, right? Come up with your own silly sentences. Trust me, it gets a lot easier to remember this stuff. All right, we good so far? Woo, yeah, okay. So let's move on to that last section and then we're gonna get our hands down and dirty with some good music. Let's see here. So let me go ahead and zoom in just a bit. We're gonna choose E flat. Now, I want you to imagine that you don't have E flat right next to it. So just take a look at the key signature itself. Just the key signature all by itself. Got it? Okay, so you know you have 3 flats, right? Good. Now, in order to figure out what the key is, right? Because when you see a piece of music, it's not going to tell you necessarily, hey, this music is in the key of E flat. You're just going to see that key signature symbol right there. So what you need to do is you need to take a look at the last flat and count back 1. And that will be the name of the key. So in this key right here, you have B flat, E flat, and A flat, right? B flat, E flat, A flat, 3 flats. The last flat is an E flat. I'm sorry, the last flat is an A flat. So you go back 1 to E flat, and that's the name of your key. Okay, so let's take a look at this one here. You guys tell me, what are the 4 flats in this key? Go ahead and tell me. What do we have? You got it. Good, we have some typing in the chat box. Okay, take your time. Okay. Good, counting up using that B-E-A-D, the bead, good craft fun. What are the 4 flats? If there are 4, use that memory tool. What are the first 4 letters? That'll tell you what the 4 flats are. Yeah, you guys are rocking it. I see you. Good. So you have B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat, right? Bead, the first 4. So if D flat is the last one, because it's very important that you place them in order. You'll never see a key signature with flats out of order. They follow that specific order. You need to go back 1 to A flat, and that's the name of your key, as you can see here. Cool? Okay, good. Thumbs up. I love it. So let's go over to sharps. Now, the sharps are a little bit different, okay? So let's take D sharp for, I'm sorry, the key of D, for example. 2 sharps, right? F sharp and C sharp. So you're going to take the last sharp and figure out what note that is. So if I have F sharp and C sharp, which one is it? You could just tell me. Yeah, C sharp. And you're going to go up by one note. So what's the note that comes after C in the musical alphabet? D, right. And that's how you get the key. All right, so let's take a look at one more. All right, you have F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. And if you're still not sure how to read those, you can see that there are 4 sharps there, right? So go back to your memory tool. Father Charles goes down, right? Those will be your 4 sharps. Now, the last one is D sharp. So what's the next letter in the musical alphabet, guys? Yeah, E, right? And that's the name of your key. Now, there's one exception to the rule. So let's take a look at F sharp right here. The reason why the name of the key is F sharp instead of F is because in the key signature, they already set the rule that any F has to be sharp. So when you go and take a look at that last sharp, which is E sharp, and you move over to the next note, which is F, know that that has to be F sharp because that key signature, solid rules, guys. It tells you exactly what to do with every note. Cool? All right, that was a ton of information. You guys okay? All right, take a breath in. Whew. Breathe all that info out. I love it, getting your learn on. Okay, so you have the order of sharps, you have the order of flats. You now know how to work your way around the circle of fifths. I love it, Sylvia. Yes, I'm still alive. Good. So now you know also how to work with each key. So let's go ahead and talk about putting this into action. Okay, 2 reasons why these key signatures are really important. 1, because it tells you what notes make up the key for the music. Okay, and 2, I love that Sylvia asked the question about transposing keys, right, and transposing music, because you need to know your key signatures in order to do that. So what I did was I pulled up, let's see here, your first challenge, all right? This is just an example of key signature changes here. So you'll see a measure, and each measure has its own key, all right? And what I want you guys to do is tell me what the 4 notes are in each measure. So we're just gonna start real simple with this one, okay? And this will be great practice for your note reading. All right, so just start right here with the key of C. Okay, I'll give you a hint. The first note is a C. And type in those 4 notes that you see. You got this. Trust me. Remember, every good boy does fine, which I believe in. All right, so start on C and tell me what 4 notes you see there. You can type it right into the chat box. Okay, you got this. Take your time. And if you're stuck, ask questions. Good. We have some people typing already. I love it. Yeah, give you about a few more seconds. You got it. All right. So now, for those of you who may be a little bit stuck, let me walk you through it. Okay. Every good boy does fine represents the notes on the lines of the staff. So this is a C right here, middle C. Okay. Every good boy does fine. So this is the first line. What note would this be? It's going to be real important. You can also tell me. I've got you guys unmuted. So this is going to be E for every, right? So you have C and then an E. This is on the second line. And if we have every good boy does fine and it's on the second line, the second word, what does it start with? Yep, Sylvia, we're just filling in the notes here. Let's see here. So the second one is G, right? Second line, second note. Every good starts with G. And now this one's in a space. So this is a space note, and it's in the 3rd space. And the memory tool we use for the spaces is FACE, F-A-C-E, counting from the bottom to the top. So if it's in the 3rd space, what letter would it be? Right here. You got it, Shania? What do you think? Yeah, take a guess. It's all good in the hood. I love it. That's okay. So your first space is going to be an F. The second space is going to be an A. Yeah. Daniel, you got it? You have a quick question? You got it? Just make sure you unmute yourself so we can hear you. In the third space. If you've got it, type it into that chat box. Third space is going to be a C. Okay, so the first note would sit in the first space, which is an F, and then A, and this one is C. So here, let me give you guys that note. All right. Oh, let me re-screen share here. There we go. Took a minute. All right, so you have C in the first one, and then E, G, and then a C at the top. Okay, can you guys see that? Yeah, so your first note is C, E, G, and C at the top. Now, Sylvia's question earlier was about transposing music. So one of the things that this document does really well is it transposes everything to different keys. So we're gonna move over to the key of A. All right, now in order to take a section of music and transpose it or change it to a different key, you need two things. You need to move the notes up or down, and you also need to make sure you apply that key signature, okay? So if all of these notes are in this order, you need to keep that same order for the next key, and then also make sure you apply the key signature that you mean to. So this takes everything from the key of C up to the key of A, all right? So remember counting, right? Remember your counting? Start with me. C, D, good. E, F, G, and A. So that's 6 steps. So every single one of these notes, all 4 notes needs to go up by 6 steps, and then you need to apply your key signature. Make sense? Okay, good, excellent. So C turns into A, right? E turns into C, G turns into E, and C at the top turns into this A at the top. So now I know that all 4 of my notes are 6 steps up. Good, that's your first part. And then you need to make sure that everything is in the key that it needs to be. So I went from the key of C, which has no sharps or flats, remember? C is home, good. And then I changed that and I bumped everything up to the key of A. So think back to that circle of this. The key of A has 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. Okay, that last sharp is a G sharp, which means the next letter would be A, and that's how I know I have the right key signature. Make sense? Yeah, Sylvia, let me know how I did. I love it. Thumbs up from everybody. Cool. Okay, so let me take a quick look here. I'm gonna have you guys do the next one. All right, so this is the key of B. You guys see that right there? Totally different key. Good, thanks, Sylvia. All right, so I want you to first tell me what these notes are. This first one is a B. Tell me what the next 3 notes are in that measure. Okay, once you guys have it, type it in. Okay, if you get stuck, just tell me, Loretta, I need help. Okay, and I'll walk you through it. You got it. Take your time, even if it's just 1 or 2 notes. Totally fine. Okay, you want to take your time with it so that way you don't build any bad habits or any habits that you need to correct later, right? Good, I see some people typing already. All right, Sylvia, don't forget, when you guys are typing in, don't forget your sharp symbols, okay? Even as you're typing them in, it's gonna be real important because now, if you have just the note without the proper symbol, it's all good. Yeah, if you have the note without the proper symbol, now you're talking about a different note, right? Because it could belong to a different key. Yes, good, keep going, Daniel, you got it, you got it. Woo! I love it, I can see you guys typing. It's like when you get a text, the anticipation kills me. Good, yes, D sharp, excellent. Good, what's this next one? Keep going, guys, you got it. F sharp, and this one up top might be tricky, but you got it. Keep going. Not A sharp, so close. It's going to be a space note, okay? So here, let's count on this one together. So the top line of the treble staff would be F, right? The space above it would be G. That line, that little ledger line, the baby line would be an A. And right above A, because it sits on top, it's going to be a B. Yeah, but it's actually B natural because we don't have any sharps in the key signature here. You notice that? We don't have a B sharp. So it's just gonna stay B natural. All good, right? So you've got your B, and then D sharp, good, F sharp, and then D. Yeah. All right. So B, D sharp, F sharp, and your B up top. Cool? All right. Let me type that in so you guys have that for your example back home. All right. So B, D sharp. I'm going to spell it just as you would when you're writing this out, okay? And then you've got F sharp, and then B up at the top. Cool? Excellent. Okay. So that's really how to take the set of rules that your key signature gives you and apply that to the notes. So one of the things that makes it a little bit tricky when you're reading music for the first time or you're just starting is to remember, okay, what was in the key signature? You know, which note do I change? So it's okay to grab a pencil or a tool, always in pencil, never in pen. Grab that pencil and like write it in. Just remind yourself as you're working along those notes, because that's something that will eventually become internal and you'll just know, okay, this song is in the key of B flat, it's in B flat, it's in B flat. You make it your mantra. All right, excellent. Let me check the chat box for a quick question. The patterns here in order to transpose is to go 6 keys ahead. Ah, great question. So you only count the number of keys based on the keys that we're counting apart. So let me show you real quick, okay? If we're in the key of C, and I have C, E, and G, okay? C, E, and G in the key of C, and I want to move up 1 to the key of D, then my notes are only going to shift by 1, but I'm going to still follow the rules of the key of D, which is why I need an F sharp. So C would move up to D, E would move up to F sharp, okay? And G would move up to A. And that's how I go from C to D. Cool? Does that make sense? Yeah, excellent. All right, let me stop screen sharing real quick and we're gonna move on to the next thing. I wanna show you what it looks like when a piece of music switches keys and why it's so important to be able to read your key signature. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and screen share. Let's see here. Yes. My favorite thing to do, I swear. Well, you know, next to playing music. So Man in the Mirror, right? Michael Jackson. Yeah. So Man in the Mirror starts in 1 key, right? And you guys know it moves to another key. It moves up as we go to the next section in the music. So check this out. The first key is right here, F sharp and C sharp. Let me zoom in so you can see it. Okay. Yes. What key is that? F sharp and C sharp. You know this now. I swear you know this. Type it in. What key is it? You got it? F sharp and C sharp. Yeah, D. All right, so the key of D. Okay, and look, it moves over. So in music, you're going to see this. You're going to see how they give you a new key signature, and you're like, oh, okay, we're not in D anymore. What key are we in? Chord symbol gives you a hint. Look here, we go from D and we change to another key. Close, Daniel. What do you need? What do you need to add in that chat box to your E? Double check. So close. Whew. E flat. Yeah. Oh, so good, right? So you're going along and then you're moving up to E flat. And it takes on a whole different form. The song takes on a whole different energy. Do you see how that works? Okay, fantabulous. All right, so let me stop screen sharing for a second. I want to give you some guidance as to kind of how to practice and how to work on this stuff at home. Okay, so I left you right here. I left you a lead sheet. Lead sheet is just a piece of music that only has the treble staff. It just has the melody with some chord symbols in it. All right, I left you something so that you can work on this at home. Over the Rainbow. Everyone knows this. It's an easy piece of music to take a look at. So what I want you to do is start pulling music, especially songs you love, right? Musicnotes.com is a fantastic resource for that. And take a look at this music. Take a look at the key signature right at the front, at the beginning, and see if you can figure out what key is it in, okay? Then I want you to take a look and start on that note. This is in the key of F, and play that scale as you're going through. F, G, A, B flat, because that's the rule, C, D, E, F. And then see if you can figure out how to change that to another key. Just go one step up to G, right? And look at the circle of this to tell you what rules you have to remember. Okay, so that'll be great practice for you over the course of the week. Sound good? Yeah, thumbs up? Okay, good. All right, So let me go ahead and leave you with a couple of resources before I let you go. I don't want you stuck out on an island by yourself in the ether, okay? All right, and I popped a link to my profile right into your chat box, okay? That's gonna do two things. So for those of you who have been taking lessons for a minute and you're like, all right, I need to go one step deeper, a little more advanced, then click on that link. It'll say ask Loretta a question at the top and pop in and just let me know, okay? I wanna make sure you guys are getting the level that you need. The second thing is, for those of you where this is real new, right? You're not quite sure. If you get stuck, do the same thing and ask me your question. I wanna make sure that you're not staying stuck and that we can direct you toward the classes that are appropriate for you, okay? All right, and then the next thing coming up, we do have a couple more classes tonight. So if you're hanging out there, right, online, you're all good to go. In a couple of hours at 6 p.m. Central, how to practice piano. We tell you to practice all the time, but it's really important to know what to do when you practice, all right? So here's a link right to that class. You don't even have to go searching for it. You can just click on it and register, right, and hop back in with us. A bunch of classes on Take Lessons Live. So for those of you that are brand new, thanks for hanging. YouTube, Facebook, it's all good. Nice to see ya. Okay, and hopefully I get to see you guys in a couple of hours. And again, don't stay stuck. Okay, but what I'm gonna do is leave you some more guidance. I'm gonna hit end class and leave you a review. You'll get a little video in your inbox and that'll give you some of the outlines from today's class. So make sure when we get to the review screen, you make sure you let me know how class was. Okay, we read those at the end of every month. We gotta know how we did. Cool? Excellent. All right, and I'm just gonna check the chat box for a few last minute questions. Flat and sharp. Yeah, Sylvia, you'll have to describe that symbol, the other symbol that you're talking about. It might be a natural symbol. Okay? Want to make sure you're good. And if you have to step out, please feel free. It's okay. It's simple to the sharp one. Ah, yes, that's a natural symbol, Sylvia. It looks like a sharp symbol with just one stem on the top and bottom. That's a natural symbol. Okay? It means it's just natural. No sharps, no flats. It's just a white key. Cool? All right. How'd we do? You guys okay? You're welcome. My pleasure. Excellent. I'm going to hop off, make you that video. Make sure you type in a review, and I'll see you at 6. Yes? Cool. All right. Happy Thursday, guys. Bye.